If you are ready, we will go ahead and get started.
Okay, thank you. And Devin, you're going to keep us beaming out to the World Wide Web? All right, then let's do that. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Bell.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Present. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Majerick.
Here.
Ott.
Here.
Pitchford.
Present.
Walrath.
Here.
Werfel.
Here.
Yarborough. Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. By the way, if you have any paperwork for us, it goes to Mr. Curran. And if you haven't already done so, please turn off your phones or anything else prone to making noise. Minutes from a week ago. Moved by Pitchford, supported by Volrath. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll, no, I guess we're not going to do a roll call. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. We're going to defer requisition review for a little while because Annette had to run an errand. So we'll go into the scheduled discussion. We have Sheriff Height here for his part of it, and then we have the annual equalization valuation determination by the one and only Warren Parrish. Sheriff.
All right. So it is my honor and privilege to present to you the annual report for 2023. You have a hard copy in place. For those in the audience, there will be an online version once it's presented to the commissioners, either later today or probably tomorrow will be online. We keep several years of that on our website. So at least 5, I think right now there's more now, so we'll probably drop a couple off. I'll give a couple of thank yous, but I am hesitant to that because I'm sure I'll forget people. But obviously, Julia Printing does a fantastic job for us each year in doing this. This has been a long-standing practice of the sheriff's office to just highlight the hard work that the men and women do at the sheriff's office. So if, and thank you to the commissioner. Obviously, what happens in this book is, based on the funding, you are the funding source for the sheriff's office. So a lot of what is done in there. So just a couple highlights, because I don't want to take away from Warren's presentation for. So, obviously the part of the book is the 2023. It is the retiring year of Sheriff Bailey. So a lot of that in there, we had some retirees, Paul Bailey, Robert Boyce, Scott Cool, Pam Hampton, Gail Hyduck, and Colleen Rudder. Deputy years on page 4. Page 5, as we are always thankful to commissioners, a lot of times you allow us to come and recognize our employees here at the commission meeting. So those are listed there as well. Page 13, for the jail division, it does give a breakdown. I know that's small print. With the total amount, 5,282 total population. It's got a breakdown there of male and females. That's on page 13. And then there's several pages of the jail division, all the things that are going on in there with inmate programs, the medical. And as you know, that was January 1st, we did switch medical providers. So this was when WellPath was still our medical provider. Page 23, I would draw your attention to food service. We talk about that a lot. Sometimes finance and admin will hear from us reference the food in the jail, but we just had our DOC inspection again, and they were very, very complimentary of Barb Johnson, who runs our food service. As you may know, our food service is still county employees, it's still done internal. So they were very impressed with the operation there in the kitchen. Several have been on tours before, have seen, that operation, but just, they do a great job. Wanted to highlight that. And then obviously there's been a lot of talk. We look at the fentanyl and meth on page 38 is our narcotics, which obviously we're joined with the Michigan State Police in the SWAT unit. That's page 38. Gives a breakdown of, the drugs that were seized. There was 30.8 ounces of fentanyl, 418 pills. But out of the 61 overdose deaths that were reported in our county, Obviously, the majority of those are fentanyl and meth related. So the hard work that they do. I could go through and highlight almost every page of it. I won't do that, obviously. But just wanted to thank you again for the cooperation with the county board and in allowing the sheriff's office to do it. And like I said, there's 86 pages of the hard work and dedication for the men and women at the sheriff's office. So in transparency, I think this is fairly good. Budget, everything else is in here. And like I said, it's been a long-standing tradition to do that. I am happy to report, we will talk about it more when I report to admin next month. We did get our 100% compliance from the Department of Corrections for the jail. We had one issue they came back on with the change in medical. There was an issue with the health assessments, which they came back and have certified. So we did get the 100% compliance with that. Also want to recognize, I know you'll be talking today about, this week is the telecommunication week for 911, but also it is Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. So the chief, undersheriff and I were out there. Some of them were at trainings. We'll catch them tomorrow to have a little bit of for them. But we just are thankful for what they do. As you know, as we've taken over animal control, the law enforcement side of it, I think it's been a very good operation. They do a great job. They are very busy on a daily basis. So one of them I couldn't see this morning because he was out already dealing with an issue with a dog this morning. But just want to recognize that because sometimes it is the same week that gets kind of not as well known. So just thankful to the animal control officers as well. So and then obviously we'll be reporting to admin. So if there's any questions after you get a chance to look at it, be happy to answer those myself, Under Sheriff Sanders. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for Sheriff Hite? All right, thanks. Warren.
Thank you, Devin. Good morning. Is everyone awake? Yeah. Well, because if you're not, this riveting presentation is gonna definitely.
Warren,
You had a year to work on that joke.
Oh no, I haven't made it yet. No. So here's the thing, right? It's 8:30.
Warren, is there any truth to the rumor that you were going to retitle this report "Welcome to Insomniac Theater"?
That's where I'm going with this. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
No, so in the 8:30 meeting time, my staff knows to leave me alone until at least 10 if they can help it. So it's a little bit early, but speaking of time, they say that time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana or an apple or an orange or whatever. Okay, I gotta clap. Commissioner Pitchford is not impressed, but I thought it was good. All right, so to business. This is, of course, my department's annual report. Come on. I'm aware of that. I am aware of that.
Berrien County has the best reports in the whole state, I think, because we have Warren.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'll take it. All right, so before I get into the nitty gritty and the numbers, I like to take this opportunity to give you just a department update. It's kind of our, my one time a year where I can tell you what's going on. So as you're aware, I'm the director, but I asked Katie to join us this morning, our deputy director. She's been with the department for
23 years.
23 years. So very valuable asset. She helps me with all of my most challenging projects, like accessing my email or finding my shoes, all that stuff. But no, in sincerity, putting together this report is work, and all of the reports that we receive at this time of year, Katie goes through literally hundreds of reports, reconciling them, organizing them. It's a big lift, and she's very good at it. So we really appreciate having her. our senior appraiser, Carrie Puckett, on May 9th will reach her 30-year anniversary with the county. And that is actually going to be her date of retirement. So congratulations preemptively to Carrie, 30 years, it's a pretty big deal. So a vacancy at that point, but I've mentioned throughout the years, our staff have advanced their certification levels, something I'm very proud of them for. They've come a long way. Everyone on this list over here was, uncertified, inexperienced out the gates and have now become experts. So I think that's a really big deal. Tanya down here is actually now in the level 3 program. So she's pursuing her level 3. She's very unthrilled about the the challenge, but I'm very confident in her abilities to succeed. So that's my department update. Talking about the whole equalization process, as I mentioned and will continue to mention, it's a lot of work. We did 77 appraisal studies this year, which meant something like 900 individual appraisals, 35 sales studies. That's almost our residential class is almost always sales studies. And then when possible, if we have enough sales in commercial, we will run a sales study in commercial. We also have to look at personal property. And I stated here 192 assessment levels studied. The reason for that, the point of that, the big deal behind that is every property classification that exists in every township or city has to be studied by us. So if they have one property that happens to be industrial in a given township or city, we have to do a separate study on that class. So that's what that 192 assessment levels is referring to. This mouse is a little sensitive, sorry. There we go. I'd like to kind of highlight the law or the sections of the law that pertain to what we're doing here and why we're doing this. So the equalization process is actually, a function of the Board of Commissioners. The law says shall establish and maintain a department to survey the assessments. That is what I'm talking about when we say doing our studies. It's a year-long process. And then I like to also highlight the second part of that section 3 of the MCL because I refer to that as the Job Security Act, which states that direct supervision and control of a director. So that's why I'm here for now. As long as they keep the jokes on point, I guess. Section 2 of that same law states that the Board of Commissioners shall examine the assessment rolls and determine that they have been equally and uniformly assessed. That's what we're doing here today. So that previous section was referring to all of the studies that we do, and this section is referring to the approval of the values and making sure that they are equal and uniform. And I'll get into what that looks like as I move ahead. And we have to do it right now in April. So that's the whole point. So as stated by that law, we have to measure the level of assessment for each property class. That's what I was talking about earlier, which meant 192 assessments this year, or assessment level studies this year. Any property class that does not come in between 49 and 50% of what our study indicated has to be factored. So if, for example, a property class came in at 52%, they would be over assessing, and I would be recommending to you today to apply a factor that would reduce the assessments in that class by a certain percentage. In this case, this year, down at the bottom of the slide, there's no unusual factors that I'm recommending. I'm recommending just a straight factor of 1, which means everyone came within that 49 to 50%. So that's a good thing. Just discussing the report a little bit further. I think I mentioned in our email that went out yesterday, some 90+ pages. It breaks down the values in every which way, looking at them from a local unit perspective, looking at them from a school district perspective. This goes on our website. Schools use it for budget preparation. So it has a lot of value to the community besides just approving the numbers. It's a lot of good information. Getting to the numbers. This is looking at county equalized value, which is synonymous this year with assessed value because I'm not recommending any unusual factors. And it compares the percent change from the prior year to the percent change this year. Last year, we saw assessments and equalized values go up a total of 14.31%. This year it's 16%. So we're still seeing market values skyrocketing. This is the taxable value, which is kind of the big picture, the main number for us. And I'm noticing an error here because the prior year change was 8%. I don't know why I've got 4.54. I maybe didn't update that chart. So sorry about that, but the total percent change last year was an even 8%. This year, we're looking at 7.36%, so slightly less. That 7.6% did not come as a surprise. I presumed we would be in the 7%, a little bit down from last year. I used, I believe, 5.15 as a conservative estimate for the budget, knowing that we would very likely or quite possibly see something closer to 7%. But that means that the 2024 taxable value has crossed the $10 billion threshold this year, which again was anticipated, but is nonetheless pretty significant number. So I just included a few examples of what's in the report. You've probably seen this chart every year. It's getting harder and harder for me to squeeze in all of the data. But the reason it goes back to 94 is because that's the year that Proposal A happened. And the subsequent year in 95 was when taxable value was first established. So this chart shows the difference between equalized value and taxable value since the inception of taxable value back in 95. And you can see in our last couple of years, this significant spike in value and some record increases in taxable. There was some pretty high increases back in, it's like 2007 too, but moving on, this is just another example of one of the charts in the equalization report. This shows equalized value and taxable value by each local unit. And across the board, you know, we're seeing these values go up. So not really a surprise, but still pretty interesting. And then I think this is my last slide, but it's just an example of this is just the first alphabetically municipality is Bainbridge Township. So every municipality has their own breakdown that looks something like this in the report that details their valuations and compares them to the prior year. That's really all I got. But yes, please.
Have these been sent to the municipalities?
They have not. So kind of an open question there as to how you would like that to be handled. I think in the past, you know, this always goes on our website, so it's available. But in the past, we've done hard copies at times and distributed them, the hard copies to local municipalities. We can certainly do that again. So yeah, totally up to you. And then if you would like a hard copy, you know, we can send them through printing and have them Yes, Commissioner Yarborough.
Because that's what we used to have, and what do we take it to the superintendent, to the school that's in our district, it's not. And the city,
Yeah, yeah.
the library, well, the library probably should have something like that just on file anyway.
I don't know that we've ever distributed them to the libraries.
Okay,
But nothing saying we couldn't.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, if the link is in Brian's report this week, then we can, we can get that out to our municipalities and they can go to it on the website.
Sure, yeah. After it gets the rubber stamp today, I'll throw it on the website and Brian will have it in his weekly update, so
I don't know.
everyone will have access to it, but.
Questions, other questions?
Did you say you would want hard copy? Digital's fine? Okay, well, just let me know.
Yeah.
No big deal either way.
There's a fair number of the local units of government, the commissioners, trustees, supervisors, et cetera, who are on the mailing list for Brian's weekly report. And I know a lot of us have made sure our units in our district are on the mailing list, so they get that every week. And it's been
Okay.
very helpful.
good, then I'll leave it alone.
So, but yeah, anyone who wanted a hard copy, I imagine printing could take care of that. So,
Send me an email if you're interested, or if you want, hard copies that take to your municipalities, just let me know.
okay.
Right now, I haven't done any printing because I wanted to leave it an open question, so.
Mr. Chairman, some questions.
Yes, sir.
Warren, just a question about the equalized value increasing more than it did last year, but the taxable value increasing less by a percentage than it did last year.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Is that related to proposal A capping or?
There's hundreds of variables that can make that happen. Both this year and last year, the taxable value increase from inflation was capped at 5%. So that percent increase in taxable value, a decent amount of that is just from inflation. But the other big contributors are property transfers and then new construction. So in both the current and previous year, because the assessed values did increase by a significant percentage, the taxable value has plenty of room to go up. It's just a matter of how many properties transferred, how much new investment came into the county. But more or less that inflationary impact would have been about the same.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Anything else? All right, thank you. Thank you both. And we'll move on then to public comments. Anyone have any? Yes, ma'am, if you'll come up here to where the microphone is located, give us your name and your town and take up to 2 minutes to tell us what's on your mind.
Hi, I'm Stacy Laura Porter, the current clerk at Lincoln Charter Township. I've been there since 2002. I've been the clerk since 2008, and I just want to introduce myself to the commission. I am running for Berry County Clerk. Just give you a little bit about myself. I was lucky enough to be an early voting site supervisor this year. I'm also the current Berry County Clerk's president. That is my second time doing that. I'm also a former president for the Michigan Municipal Cemeteries Association. I've received my Michigan Professional Clerk certification. I'm a level 2. I've also a certified municipal clerk through the International Institute of the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. We usually use acronyms, so when I have to say the whole thing, it's a lot of words. I've had the pleasure of assisting other local jurisdictions such as the city of Benton Harbor and Weesaw during times of transition during clerks. It's one of my to do. I love helping. I'm a huge advocate for education. I want to make sure that all of our local clerks have everything they have to be successful and to provide to their residents. I want to continue doing that at the county level And I'm super excited about learning the different aspects of the county clerk. There's things in the county clerking world that I've never had the opportunity to do. I love a good challenge and I love learning new stuff. If your brain's not learning new stuff, it's not moving. So it's really important to me. And I really am looking forward to giving back at a larger level than just at Lincoln Charter Township. I'm ready to give back at the county level. So I just wanted to say hi and put a name. I've seen a lot of, I've had the pleasure of meeting several of you before. And then those that I haven't met yet, it's good to put a face to the name. So thank you.
Thank you.
Stacy?
Stacy?
Oh, yes.
Please say your name again.
Stacy Lore Porter. You're welcome.
Anyone else wish to be heard? Yes, ma'am.
Sharon Tyler from Niles City, Berrien County Clerk. And I also want all of you to know that I've been for the county clerk. She has the expertise. She'll be one who would be able to step in and take care of all of you. But I do want to tell you, I've been attending a lot of Michigan Association of County Clerks events, the United County Officers seminar, and I also went to a destination wedding. As you can see, I've got a tan. But I was very blessed coming back from the United County Officers. It was a program created by Michigan State University. And you have to achieve over 135 hours within your field of operation. It's a lot of educational programs and within the county government. One of our programs this week was regarding salaries. And we had a county administrator speak on that and what they're doing in other counties and everything. But at that meeting, I was awarded as a certified county officer, and I wanted to share it with you today. I'm very honored that you've allowed me to attend these meetings because as a county clerk, I hope you pass this on to the next clerk. I know Lori Jarvis, oh, what a flip. Lori Freeling, Lori Jarvis attended it and was certified, and Lori Freeling is going through the courses. It is very extensive. It's a major task when it takes you 11 years and 3 months to accomplish. It is not something you can get in 1 year, 2 years. It takes a long time of service, and you kind of think, oh, now you get this award? And what does that mean? Well, I've been using this all along while I've been serving you and bringing what I've learned and networking with all areas of local county officers. And I wanted to thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And I'm sure Lori Jarvis is smiling on you today.
Yes, she is. She's an angel.
Yes, she is. Anyone else wish to be heard? Okay. Do we have any other business?
Requisition.
Oh, I'm sorry, requisitions, is that right? We tabled that.
Yeah.
Good
So Ned
morning.
Had to run. an
Sorry.
errand. No, we're good.
Does anybody have any questions about the requisition list? Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Now, anything else? All right, well, as soon as we're done signing off on that, we can break early, restroom break, whatever you want to do before you start your committees. And then we'll be back at 10:30 unless, did you have something?
I did, on the requisition, I know it's going around.
Yep.
I had some questions about the change orders. There's a purchase order from 2020 that's on there for a change order and purchase order from 2021.
Do you need those read out loud?
Do you have it?
Just for clarity of the record, you said 2020,
2020,
2021?
yes.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure.
And go ahead, read the number.
Mr. Chair, the change order that Commissioner Freeling referenced is 20003-581. And it is in fact a 4-year-old purchase order. It's a purchase order from August 2nd, 2023, from 80,000 to 100,000. Do you want the recs read as well?
There was one on the rec for an inter-county drain,
It's rec 70781.
and that was from 2021, 2020. two. And my question was, I would like to have the drain commissioner come to have the conversation we've been asking him in finance to come to have. And this would be another one that I would hope he could explain to us. And so for me, I would like to hold off on moving those purchase orders through until we have that conversation. We've been waiting for over a month for the drain commissioner to come to finance to speak with us.
Are these, I'm assuming these are open-ended items or projects, which is why they have dates from prior years. Is that correct?
More than likely. One is a intercounty, from what I could sort of figure out in my research, it's intercounty. They had a meeting April 8th. This may be an invoice that was distributed to be paid from Van Buren County.
I remember the one with Van Buren.
And then the other one is tied to the Coranda drain, I think in Hager Township. But the purchase order is from 2020, and I just don't know our process well enough to know that that can be open for 4 years. And as I stated, we've been waiting to have the drain commissioner come to speak with finance. And this would be another thing I'd like to just have conversation on.
Any other thoughts from anyone?
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, what I'll do is take a copy of the munis reports and then bundle them in with the repeated request for information that was prior requested by the finance committee.
Okay, and yeah, you don't want to assume anything.
Nope.
I mean, when you assume the worst, you invariably reach a worst case conclusion.
Correct.
So we don't want to do that. But requesting additional information certainly is appropriate. Yes, ma'am.
Could we also get then a copy of maybe the policy of how long a purchase order would stay open for? Is there a policy on that?
I don't know that we have one, but do you?
And should there be one then?
Yeah.
And that's bouncing a bit.
Yeah, so as long as a project is, oops, sorry,
Use your
so as
microphone.
long as the project is ongoing, then we can continue to roll over the purchase order as long as we need to.
It could be open for 20 years.
It could be open as long as the project takes. I mean, we at the end of the year, every year, we scrub that whole system. You look at all of your purchase orders, you close what you can. But if there is an ongoing project or something like that, then yes, it can remain open for multiple
Just as a follow-up to that, the jail is a perfect example of, it was a purchase order that was open for numerous years, starting with design services, moving all the way through construction. I would anticipate that was probably 3 to 4 years where that PO was open.
Jail receiving?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was, and in fact, I remember we had to change some of the doors because the contractor thought it would be okay to leave our jail doors outside all winter. Might be okay in Kentucky, but not with a Michigan winter. So anyway, all right, well, if the finance committee is agreeable, if the rest of the board's okay with it, then finance can get some additional information. Would that be appropriate?
Can I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
direction? I need to know whether you want them pulled off of that and that to be readjusted with new totals, or are we just waiting for that conversation to happen? What would you like me to do with the rec list?
I have a question. What happens with stuff on the list if we don't take anything off? How long does the circle go until the checks are cut or the adjustments are?
So you approve those today, and then those would be, the requisitions are just turned into a purchase order. So that's, you're approving it to be converted into that process. The change order would just, sit there. But if there's invoices that need to be paid on those change orders, then those would be held out for being processed through the accounts payable process.
And how long does that take?
I mean, if you approve the change order, then like next week in our check run, then that would get paid.
All right, well, just a suggestion. Let the process continue, but let's also urgently request a discussion with the drain office to get some clarity, but the finance committee, it's your call.
I personally, just really quickly, we can't hold that up. It's not something we can hold up, or we should even try to hold up, it's part of the process, but one thing that I would like to find out, and that conversation would help, is that I don't know the process well enough either to know when you've got an inter-county drain. Initially, somebody must, I mean, we've got people on both sides of the county line that are gonna pay for this, but initially, the percentage must be determined. And I don't know who does that. If it's the two drain commissioners that do that, or do the two road departments get involved?
To the extent there's cost sharing, they would. And back then, we had a road commission. This
Right.
predates the 2017 organic change that we went through, or 2018, whenever it was.
So the simple answer is that the drain commissioners just get together and they say, our percentage of the drain is 55%, yours is 45%.
Basically.
Okay.
And there normally is a third party that's there too. There's at least one of their member.
Another drain office, I believe,
Or
yeah.
a state office.
Or state, yeah. Yeah. So what's your pleasure? Seek information, but let the wheels keep turning on the requisitions?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. We good with that? Okay. Do we have anything else before we adjourn at 9:14 and 40 seconds?